The choices we make reveal the true nature of our character, even in a silly gacha game. Hello Internet, it is I, the Roshi, and today I'm analyzing you! Not really. Kind of, maybe. I'll get back to that. Today I'm losing my mind to talk to you about Aether and Lumine, how they both work as the Traveler and Abyss sibling, how they contrast and simultaneously complement each other, and finally, how your choice of protagonist tells me a little bit about you. Before we begin, although it may be mentioned, this is not a video about canon. I would like to make it clear that I am not trying to influence you to think one way or the other, but rather attempting to build a bridge of understanding between two very different perspectives. You can think and feel what you want, discuss whatever you like in the comments below, but please remember to do your best to keep things civil. Not everyone is going to have the same opinion, and that's just life. Also, I'm not a psychiatrist, so yeah, don't take this too seriously. It's just for fun. But like I just said, this isn't about canon. I want to address something far more interesting to me. I'm going to tackle why people like their respected Traveler and Abyss sibling, and what most likely makes them feel that way, with my own analytical outlook on how the twins are presented. You see, characters are supposed to make you feel something, even if it's just subconsciously. But the thing is that not everyone is going to see and understand something the same as everyone else. Looking at these characters is a way to get a glimpse of one's personality to an extent. Not just their personality, but your own as well. Think of it as a less serious Rorschach test.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Allow me to show you the method to my madness. As many of you know by now, and for those of you new here, I have a degree in arts and crafts. And one thing I really liked about going through that whole rigmarole was my experience learning about color theory and character design. This is something that I bring up in a lot of my reactions, specifically when discussing characters, trailers, teasers, and other animated projects. I recommend that you check some of those playlists out if you haven't already. Although Lumine and Aether are twins and share similarities such as their complexion, eye color, and hair color, their designs are filled with contrasting elements that highlight their individuality. Lumine's outfit features a flowing dress that opens and spreads out towards the bottom, complemented by a thin, pointed scarf with dual tails that trails behind her. Her golden trim is delicate and subtle. Her midsection and arms are covered, her thighs and shoulders exposed. And her hairstyle combines long, smooth sides with a shorter back, also accessorized to enhance her overall look. Aether wears more form-fitting clothing, with flowing elements positioned oppositely to Lumine's. Instead of a flowing dress, he has a cape that extends from his upper body, and his pants remain sleek and snug. His scarf features a single, broader tail that hangs in front of him. Aether's design has his midsection and arms exposed while keeping his thighs and shoulders covered. The golden trim on him is much more spread compared to Lumine's. His hair contrasts as well, being short on the sides, long in the back, and unkempt on top, free of accessories. Color-wise and overall feel, Lumine and Aether are white and black, light and dark, day and night, cool and warm, yin and yang, opposite sides of a chessboard. Yet together, the siblings, despite these things, also complement each other. The hints of Lumine's blue to Aether's orange are complementary colors. You need light in order for there to be a shadow. How would one understand cool without feeling warmth? Good and evil, chaos and order are perspectives that cannot be understood without reference to the other. You can't play a game of chess without a checkered board. Side tangent. The chessboard analogy is actually pretty interesting since the Gnosis are chess pieces and Lumine represents the white while Aether would be black. And canonically, she arrived and explored Teyvat before him and did a bunch of stuff. And when you play chess, white always makes the first move. Yeah, I'm paying attention. Anyway, you may have picked your protagonist based on your own gender. Maybe you picked the opposite gender because they're cool, cute, would rather stare at their ass instead of the others, etc. The best thing about all of this is that when you start off, you're the one who gets to fabricate the story of these two however you want, based on their appearance alone. You create the narrative in your mind. You tell yourself a reason why it's that way. You could say it was random all you want, or that you don't care, or that it's not that deep. But something made you make a decision. There is always a choice, especially when going in with little to no knowledge about anything. For example, because of Lumine's light theme with flowing clothing, she is meant to appear pretty heroic, while Aether and his darker theme and his more form-fitting style and attire may fit the appearance of a villain or at the very least a vigilante. There is nothing wrong with viewing the story with this kind of perspective. Some may consider it too basic, but in my opinion, there are still plenty of other aspects that can make you feel a nice twist and wrench at your heart. I'm fucked up. Especially when you do decide to think deeper about it beyond design. For example, Aether as the Abyss sibling delivers his lines in a pained way. He is more melancholic and seems to be struggling with what he's doing and knows he has to push on. So now, because of that, we have an antagonist that one could theoretically easily sympathize with, and at the same time, play as Lumine, the character who at the very least represents the look of a classic hero. Now, the other side of the coin. Abyss Lumine, our classic hero in white, is still the hero from her perspective. And this game is all about perspectives. In my opinion, a good antagonist usually believes that what they're doing is the right thing to do. To them, they feel justified in their actions. You know, the end justifies the means. You can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. Lumine is the Abyss princess avenging those who fell and were corrupted because she sympathizes. She is the speck of light in her story. At the same time, Aether as the Traveler is also a little speck in the world of Teyvat. Not necessarily in a bad way, yet, but definitely a more uncertain one. To play as Aether feels fun because there's this concept that he's the more emotional sibling and can be seen very differently depending on the scene and its context. Aether ranges from this warmth to a more intense feel. And to know that this kind of person is going to have to do some crazy stuff at the end, it builds up a greater suspense and feels less of a cookie-cutter version of good versus evil storytelling. With Aether as the Traveler and Lumine as the Abyss sibling, there's a more nuanced approach. However, unlike Aether, Lumine as the Abyss sibling is stoic, cold, and distant. She takes a very matter-of-fact stance in all of this, and some may like that while others will find this boring. She just becomes the bad guy and there's little reason to feel bad for her because of her demeanor. She's kind of a dick.
But I cannot go with you to the next world to find a new home. At least, not yet.
Oh. Well, you need like 5 minutes? We could find a restroom. You hungry? We could have lunch together? Catch up? It's been a minute. Less emotion shown makes it easier to dislike her as well, especially since there's nothing to really get attached to, except for Aether caring about her. But here's the thing. Abyss Lumine is cold and distant because she needs to be in order to do what she feels must be done. She has already gone through the stages of grief, and at the time you meet her, she has reached acceptance. Her emotions are pushed to the side because there are no more tears left, only work to be done. Abyss Aether is probably taking longer to go through these stages because he's the more emotional one of the two. He dwells in this space longer. So when you meet him for the first time, he is most likely in the depression stage and on the cusp of the acceptance stage. I mean, I don't know this, but has Abyss Aether started to seem more determined later in game? Because if he has, that proves this. I'm only speculating here because I'm only in Inazuma at the time of this recording. It's right here! Oh my god, it was right here. I'm stupid. Damn it. I don't know. What I'm ultimately getting at is why people choose who they did. As I said at the beginning of this video, looking at these characters is in a way how to get a glimpse of one's personality to an extent. I have to say that there's some correlation to one's choice of protagonist and what kind of adventure they like. I believe the Lumine Traveler, Abyss Aether way is preferred by those who wear their heart on their sleeves. The lawful good paladin. You like the classic hero approach, with the good versus evil story, with a dash of emotional turmoil that is literally thrown into your face. Of course, there is still mystery and intrigue because that's just part of the game, but from a visual standpoint, it's all spelt out and this just fits the bill for you. I believe the Aether Traveler, Abyss Lumine story is one that is more cerebral. Things are not as clear. Much can be speculated, and it makes you want to get into the headspace of these characters more, because what's going on isn't that obvious. For example, I bet the majority of you thought that Lumine was a heartless bitch, but then you saw this. The Aether Traveler perspective, although not as obvious, has a very powerful emotional payoff when 2 and 2 get put together. Some people want the themes and feels to pop out and punch them in the face, while others prefer to sit and contemplate, letting it sink in. Some people have a stronger sense of justice, while others feel a little more chaotic good. Hell, maybe you just like the waifu, or you saw the midriff and went awooga. I don't know your reasons, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you're having fun, playing with who you want, and fuck anyone else who tells you otherwise. You do you. I'm happy with the choice I made, and I don't discourage anyone who went the other route. I think both characters in both roles are very interesting in their respective ways, and I'm having fun with it. Last time I did a video like this, I asked who you chose, Aether or Lumine, but this time I want to ask, are there any Traveler mains watching? If you are, let me know in the comments below and tell me about it. But that's it, that's the video. I talked about their designs, what that means, how it works, and what it potentially means to you based on the choice you made at the very beginning of the game. Thank you so much for watching, I appreciate it as always. If you liked the video, let me know by giving it a like, share your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You can also check the description for additional ways on how to support me, so I can continue to make videos like this for you. Every little bit counts. Thanks again, and until next time, shine on you crazy diamonds. Later.